settle in whatever that looks like to you. Scooch the shoulders underneath the body, elongate from the top of the head, reaching into the hips and then down through the heels. See if you can just open up some spaces and all the joints become long and light. And just check in where you might be still holding on. If it's any muscles in your face, your fingers, your toes. And then start to call attention to your breath. Feel it moving in and out through the nose. Hear it flowing. Allow the sound and the feeling of your breath to create some more calm and stillness in the body. You know that physiologically it is calming the nervous system. See if you can put a little bit more effort into the length of both the inhale and the exhale. Taking one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. I want to take 5 deep breaths together, just intentionally breathing into the whole entire front space of the body. So on an inhale, fill up everything underneath your palms. Feel the body rise and inflate and expand. And then on an exhale, feel it soften and release and fall back to the ground. 4 more just like that. Intentional breathing, filling up the body. Exhale, release. On your inhale, fill up the body, feel it, hear it. Exhale. 2 more. Last one, make it the most intentional, big, expansive breath you've taken today. And on an exhale, release. On an inhale, take the arms overhead and then expand through the toes and the fingers, big pencil stretch, lengthen. Exhale, soften through the body. One more just like that. Inhale to lengthen and reach. Reach to the toes, the fingers. Exhale, let it go. And then bend the knees and draw the knees into the chest. So you're making a ball with the body. Wrap the arms around the shins. Drive the low back into the mat. Give yourself a little rocking on that low back, side to side. Feel free to play around with maybe tucking the chin towards the chest and then breathing into that upper back and shoulder area. And then let the ball shape come to a pause. We're gonna cross the right leg over the left. Find an early figure 4, breathing into that right hip. And as we breathe into that right hip, to draw the leg near, thread the arms underneath the left leg. See if you can push your shoulders down into the mat and away from the ears. And then start to inhale that left leg to the sky, bending it back towards the glute. So we're breathing into that right hip, lengthening through the left leg. Continue to push the hips and the low back down into the ground. And then in your next inhale, take the arms into a capital T. And we're just gonna cradle rock that leg side to side. So just a little bit of movement as we ground through the arms. I want you to think about using your arms for support and then using your core strength to just inhale and exhale side to side. And then we'll untangle the legs, draw both knees into chest, just taking a reflection of right and left side, and we'll switch. So left leg comes over the right, figure 4. Thread the arms underneath that right leg. And then you're really breathing into this left hip space. Staying in figure 4, option to add just a little bit of flexion and extension, breathing lengthen through the back of that right leg. So shooting that foot up to the sky, and then flexing it down towards the glute. You'll feel your hamstring turned on underneath if your arms are thread. And then we'll open the arms into a capital T, same thing, second side. So just exhaling off to one side, using your core strength to inhale up through center, exhaling off to the other. Continuing to push your low back and your hips into the mat. Take one more each direction. And then we'll untangle the legs. We'll go into happy baby. So draw the knees into the armpit area, feet up to the sky, outside edges of the feet, or first and second finger around the big toes. And then reach your feet up to the sky. At the same time, allow the tension to pull the knees down into the armpit area. So you're really active in opening up the hips. You can rock on the low back. We'll close the knees together when you're ready, and we'll take 3 rock and rolls from our hips up to our shoulders. Gently rocking on the low back. And then the third one, we'll come up to a seated position, and we'll actually go into butterfly. So feet come together, knees come out, so actively working through the hips more. See if you can sit up tall through sit bones, pull length up through the sternum, through the top of the head. And then we'll just move through those hips. So go ahead, let your butterfly wings fly. Just pressing the knees down and up. Continuing to have really good posture here, squeezing the shoulders down and back. And then let the legs relax. We'll draw the knees together, sitting tall, almost in a boat pose. So you're sitting really tall. And we're gonna take some twists here. So an inhale, reach up, lengthen. And then exhale, you're coming to your right side. And as you come to your right side, we're continuing to sit tall and maybe even hook that left tricep on the outside of the leg. Option to look over the right shoulder. Start to breathe into that left neck space. As you're in this twist, breathe into that deep belly and squeeze the legs together. Press down through the feet and the glutes. Make it more of an active stretch rather than passive. On an exhale, unwind the body, come through center. Inhale to sit tall, reach and stretch. Exhale, twist to your left second side. Again, push down through the hips and the feet. Lengthen from hips up through top of the head. Squeeze the legs together. Option to look over the left shoulder, breathe through the right neck space. On an exhale, bring everything back through center. And then we're just gonna set the legs behind us, rolling into tabletop. So hands come underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And from here, we're gonna come down for a child's pose to start with toes tucked. So tuck the toes underneath, set the hips back towards your heels, and then find length from tailbone through top of the head, reach through the fingertips. Let the head come between the arms. Really lengthen through the spine. As you reach through the fingers, see if you can draw the shoulders back towards the hips. On an inhale, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes underneath so the tops of the feet come to meet the mat. From here, take your right arm up, big reach and stretch towards the sky. Pause for a moment, hold that stretch, and just check in. Left hand's underneath the heart for support. You're really thinking about articulating everything from the hips to the shoulders up to the sky. Reach more with your inhale. Shoulders are stacked. Big, deep belly breaths in this opening twist. On your next exhale, thread the needle. Right arm comes all the way underneath. Press to the back of that right arm. Slightly come to rest on the right side of the head. Hips are shooting up and back. You're still trying to find length in the spine. Option to walk the left fingertips to the top of your mat for a little bit more twist. Or if you'd like, you can take that left arm behind your low back and really start to open up through the heart space. So a little bit more of a counter twist. Take the left arm underneath the left shoulder. Press into that hand firmly. Reach and stretch right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, take the right arm down underneath the heart. Left arm comes up to rise. Big reach and stretch. Let's hold here for a few breaths. Shoulders are stacked over each other, pressing firmly through the right hand. Keep articulating the heart and belly up to the sky. See if you can continue to reach through the tailbone, the top of the head. On your next exhale, thread the needle. Left arm comes underneath. Rest on the left side of your head. Hips are up and back, reaching length through the spine. Option to take the right arm to the top of your mat, or maybe take that right arm to the low back. Right arm comes underneath the right shoulder. Press through the hand. Big reach and stretch. Left arm comes up to the sky. Exhale, take the hand underneath. We're going to press back into kneeling, sitting on our heels. And as we sit on the heels, we're going to do a little bit of opening through that chest. So for all the sitting we're doing, we've done these before. Let's start open. So inhale, lift up. So really open up. Press the elbows to the back of the room. Broaden through the collarbones. Take the gaze up towards the sky. Hold this position for a second. Retract the shoulders down into the hips, and then sit tall from hips to top of the head. So really strong posture. We're just opening up through the heart space. On your next exhale, tuck the chin towards the chest. Draw the elbows in towards each other. Round through the upper back, and then find that stretch all along the back of the spine. Inhale, send it open right where we started. Big opening. Draw the elbows behind you. 2 more just like that. Exhale, round and find a stretch in the upper shoulders. Inhale to open. Last one. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale to open. This time we're coming all the way up into kneeling. So we'll push through the knees, squeeze the glutes. And then from here, we're gonna take the arms up overhead, reach and stretch. And then we're gonna go ahead and take that, it's so hard, take the right leg out. As we take the right leg out, we find this stretch into our hips. So really push through the blade edge of that right foot. On an exhale, take the left hand down and then big side stretch. So from here, you're reaching through the right fingertips all along that right side body down into the blade edge of the foot. See if you can open up even to the sky here a little bit. So press through that left palm. See if you can reach out of the left hip. Try not to dump into the hip, but create space in that joint. And then with your core strength, inhale, push off, arms come all the way up. Exhale, push back, half child's pose. Hips come to heel. You're still reaching out, and then you're breathing through that right hip. On an inhale, walk the hands back towards the body, and then we're gonna come up to stack. So stack the shoulders over the hips, reach the arms up into the air, and then use balance challenge to sneak that right leg back underneath. Left leg comes out, push the blade edge of that left leg, beautiful. Reach and stretch out of the hips, and then exhale, keep that length as you just come to the side, plant through that right hand, push the left hip up and open, reach through fingertips through the blade edge of that left foot. Really intense side body stretch here. If you want to make this a little bit more open, stretching into the front of the body, see if you can articulate that armpit and that heart up to the sky. Take the gaze where it feels most supported in your neck space. Balance and core challenge, press off through the right hand and then pull yourself back up, reach and stretch. Exhale, set the hips back, half child's pose, breathing into the left hip. On an inhale, walk the hands back underneath the body, sneak that left leg underneath, and then we're gonna sit back on our heels and our hips into this just a little ball here. So as we come into this ball, we're breathing into our toe creases, our Achilles, and our calves. So feel free to just take a few exploratory movements into those feet. So you're maybe making some circles, breathing into the toes and the ankles. And when you're ready, an exhale is going to send the hips up to the sky, forward fold. Hips come all the way up, head comes to heavy to hang. So see if you can really let your neck release and let the top of the head come towards the toes. Let the arms dangle at the sides. Just take a few side-to-side motions as you let the arms dangle. Feel free to soften through the knees. And then come to stillness. We're gonna go ahead and walk the hands up the body, coming all the way up to standing. And as we come to standing, reach and stretch, arms come overhead. Big reach and stretch. Exhale, draw length through the right arm, reach the left arm over. So big side body stretch. Notice how this might feel different from that side plank pose into this standing pose. Really reach through both feet that are grounded and open up through the hips in that armpit area. Inhale to take it up. Exhale, second side. Left arm is actively reaching down to the floor, right fingertips over to the left side rim. Legs are strong here. Ground through all four corners. Lift the kneecaps, engage the thighs, squeeze the glutes. Inhale to take it up. Exhale, cactus the arms, just like we did in kneeling. Open up through that heart space. Now you have your legs underneath you. Press through all four corners. Let the legs be strong. Two more just like that. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, open up through the heart, cactus the arms. One more, inhale up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, sends it up. Exhale, tee the arms, push the arms back, forward fold, come all the way down, top of the head towards the toes. Inhale, halfway lift, tabletop the back. And as you tabletop the back, pause. This is a really good position to practice hip hinging and strengthening the back without going belly down. So as we're in this half lift, your hands are there for your support, your knees are soft. Reach through the tailbone and the top of the head. Long line from in the spine, pull the belly button up to the low back. If you want, you can take your hands to your belly and another hand to your low back so that you can feel that engagement there. And just breathe into that space. 3 deep breaths as you hold yourself up strong. Keep retracting the shoulders back and towards the hips. For 3, 2, and then 1. Exhale, bring it all the way down. Walk the hands and the feet out. Find your down dog. As we move into our down dog, breathe more into the back of that legs. Pushing through heels and palms, hips come up to the sky. On an inhale, we're gonna float that right leg high and press the left heel down into the mat. We're gonna draw that right leg all the way to the top of our mat. Turn the back foot parallel with the back of your mat. We're cartwheeling hands up, warrior 2. As we move into warrior 2, this right leg is bent and pushing into all four corners of that front foot. Arms are actively reaching to the sides. Draw energy all the way into that left glute. Keep the legs where they are, really strong warrior legs. Inhale takes us forward, exhale, reverse. Breathe into that right side body. Reach up out of the hips through the fingertips, but ground through the feet underneath you. Inhale takes us back into warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Slight little tick-tock from the hips, but we're finding length. Option to draw that right arm all the way down. And then left arm can come behind to that right hip crease, or you might just float and stack the arms and the shoulders all together in one line. Play with your neck. So think about how the stretch can change as you just take your gaze in different directions and choose an option that works good for you. On an inhale, use your strength to pull yourself back up. We're going triangle pose, straighten through the right leg, tick-tock forward triangle. A little bit deeper stretch into both hips now. See if you can draw up out of the hips and find that length. Keep articulating everything between the hips and the shoulders up to the sky. On an exhale, we're gonna frame that right leg, and we're gonna launch off this back leg. So turn your left toes, launch off that back left leg, warrior three. As we come into warrior three, hips and shoulders are square. Keep reaching out of that right hip. So you're gonna wanna cave into that joint. See if you can create some space in that joint. Reach to the top of the head. Option to take the hands, heart center, fly them forward, reach them back, take them to the hips. Lots of cool things you could be doing. Keep pushing through all four corners of that right foot. You guys got it. And then on an inhale, we're just gonna float that left leg underneath us, coming into a standing position somewhere on our mats. Inhale, reach and stretch, draw it up. Exhale, this time hands are coming behind us, interlacing all 10 fingers, reaching for wrists, forearms, or elbows. And we're gonna tuck the chin, look towards the chest, forward fold with one of those arm bind options. So find the arm bind that works for you. If all these are a little bit too much, you can always take your hands at your hips and draw your elbows together behind you. We're just really opening up through the shoulders, breathing through the back of the legs. On an exhale, release the bind that you have. Take the hands underneath, walk the feet and the hands out, down dog. From down dog, float the left leg high. Push through the right heel. Float that left leg all the way through to the top of your mat. Turn the back right foot parallel. Open up arms, warrior two. Active lift to the ground. Sit strength challenge. Arms come open. Tick-tock forward and then reverse your warrior. Breathe through the left side of the body. Inhale to take it back, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Left knee stays bent. Option to drive the left arm all the way underneath, stacking shoulders, opening up through the heart and the belly button. Remember your options to play with your gaze. On an inhale with your strength, come back up, warrior two. Straighten through the left leg, Trikonasana, triangle pose, tick-tock forward. Really push those hips up and back towards the sky, opening up, revolving the heart up. Knees stay soft here even though the legs are straight. Try not to lock out through those knees. On an exhale, draw the hands down to frame the left leg, turn the right toes, launch off that back leg, warrior three. Push through the left foot firmly, reach out of the left hip. And then option to hover the hands off and find an arm position in warrior three that works for you. Maybe it's a little fun balance challenge. Maybe your arms are up in the air. I see some people outside. Get those arms some sun. On your next inhale, we'll swing that right leg underneath. Come into a standing position on our mat. And then one last time, inhale, take it up. Arms are gonna come behind us. Choose a different arm bind. So if you took one of the arm binds before, see if you can pick a different one. You might even just pick the same one, but take the opposite thumb on top. So change your mind, and when you're ready, and exhale is going to forward fold all the way down. Last forward fold today. On an exhale, release the arms, and then we'll walk our hands and our feet out, find our last down dog today. Pressing with your hands and feet, hips are up in the air. Really stretch those hips up into the air and then find length through the arms and the back of the legs. So strong down dog, breathe into those hips. On your next exhale, knees come down, and then we'll move on to our back. So as you set your knees down, hips shift back onto the heels, and then draw the legs out in front of you. We're gonna make our way to our backs. So slowly coming down, see if you can do a little bit of core challenge here as you find length, and then you lower nice and slow. And when we get down to that supine position, we're gonna pull our right leg up into our chest, and then just take a few oscillations, so tracing some circles, maybe moving the foot on the ankle. Keep reaching through that left heel, opening up through this left hip. And then we'll take our arms into a capital T, and exhale sends that leg over to the left for a twist. Breathing into the right side body. Breathe into that belly. You know, sometimes when I intentionally breathe into these twists, I actually start to cough a little because it feels weird to breathe when everything's twisted up in the middle. On an inhale, press through the arms, engage the core, drive the leg up through center. And then go ahead and just let the leg come out so both legs are long. And then an inhale, send the left leg into the chest. Take a few circles, move the foot on the ankle. We'll open up the arms into a capital T. And then an exhale, send the leg off to the right side. On an inhale, press through the arms, drive the leg up through center, extend the leg out, and then you'll find yourself in your final resting pose. We'll take a 1-minute Shavasana together. So take any jiggles and movements to draw the shoulders underneath, find length through the hips, down through the heels. In just 1 minute of intentional breathing and pause and restfulness. On an inhale, start to create some movement with the fingers on the hands and the toes. Opening and closing through those joints and then starting to articulate through the wrist and the ankles. Big breath. Possibly send the arms overhead, point through the toes, just like we started our pencil stretch. Good afternoon. Exhale, release. Draw the knees into the chest and make your way to one side to rest. And we'll gently push ourselves up into a comfortable seated position to take one breath to close out our practice. If you'd like to stay in your Shavasana, you can go for it. One big breath, reach and stretch. Exhale, bring it all in. It's been awesome to work with you all today, to move, to breathe. You rock, ducks. Namaste.